Welcome back to TarHeelIllustrated.com, or if you're watching on our YouTube channel, Tar Heel Illustrated. I'm THI staff writer Jacob Turner, and joining me, as he always does, our very own publisher, Andrew Jones. And Andrew, we're here for the third ever episode of our Carolina Football ISO series that, as you guys have probably heard by now, we're going to be rolling out all throughout the rest of spring and throughout some of the months in summer as well. So make sure you guys stay tuned. If you haven't seen the other ones we've done, go check those out as well. And like I said, stay tuned for the ones we've got coming ahead. Before we dive into this one, though, AJ, just $8.33 a month. You can sign up for premium access on our site. I know the promo that we did a couple weeks ago did fantastic. That one ended on April 25th, had a really, really good response and really big jump in our community over there. So big thanks to everybody that signed up, but still $8.33 a month. You get access to our premium site, premium boards, I should say, premium content, a lot of the stuff that we put in the boards, we don't roll out in the front. I'm on there. Andrew Jones is on there. David Sisk, Dina King, everybody on our staff is constantly on there, putting in scoops, putting in what they're hearing, interacting with our community, all that good stuff. So go sign up after this video is done. Click the description below and you'll find a link to our website. You can head over there and do it for just $8.33 a month, AJ. But let's dive into this one, man. We're here to talk about DJ Jones, a guy that obviously came in as a true freshman last season, saw a little bit of limited reps before getting hurt towards the end of the season, which was a big blow for him, obviously, because I think he would have been a guy that got a chance to play in that Orange Bowl and get some real good experience with the likes of Michael Carter and Javonte Williams, both opting out for the NFL draft. But from what we've seen in the 3 practices in the spring game this past spring from DJ Jones, I've grown even more impressed with him. I shot an ISO of him and Elijah Green last season during the Western Carolina game where I was like, okay, I like what I'm seeing from DJ Jones. He's quick, he's shifty, kind of reminds me a little bit of Michael Carter and what he in his kind of size and his hair as well. As I have to say that one because it definitely draws a comparison. But DJ Jones, a guy that I think this season with Ty Chandler, I'm sure he'll be kind of the first guy. I think you're going to be seeing a lot of DJ Jones based on what we saw in the spring. And if he can stay healthy, kind of stop getting banged up, which Mac Brown has mentioned a few times as things he needs to still work on because of his size and just how young he is. If he can stay healthy, I think he could be a big-time back and a big-time contributor for Carolina's offense this season.
Well, staying healthy is the key.
Yeah.
And Mac Brown brings it up because you can't really control whether or not you stay healthy. Yeah. But then a guy can control whether or not they stay healthy to a little bit. They can control how they deal with it to a degree. Mm-hmm. I don't know what the issue has been with him. He did get hurt in high school. Mac made a point of noting that a couple of weeks, about midway through spring practice. Mm-hmm. And then, of course, last year, I think DJ would have started the Orange Bowl had he been healthy. And maybe it would have been DJ and British Brooks or DJ, British Brooks, and Josh Henderson. Instead, it was just Henderson and Brooks. They didn't have a tremendous amount of success. DJ, I think, gives them a little bit more of an element that those guys don't add. A guy who could maybe get to the second level, past the second level a little bit more. I agree with you about the Michael Carter thing. He's got some giddy up. I think he hits the holes well. He looks like a guy that potentially down the road can be an every down type of player. He can run inside, can run outside. He should be able to pass protect this season. It'll be a second year in the program. He may not be as good as Ty Chandler. He's been doing it for 4 years at Tennessee, but he should be a lot better at that, should be trusted some. And he should be able to run those little flares, screen passes, maybe even get downfield and run a little something more. He should be the kind of guy that when he's in the game, defenses don't view him as 1 or 2 dimensional. They have to recognize the fact that he can do a lot of things. And I think he's going to be that kind of guy. We haven't seen a lot of him. So I want to see more. 3 practices in the spring game is some, a little bit in the Western Carolina game. It looks to me like all the instincts are there, all the tools are there for him to be a really good back, and opportunity. The opportunity wasn't really there a year ago. The opportunity will be there this year. And I do think he's ahead of guys like Henderson. I think he's ahead of British Brooks. I think he's ahead of Elijah Green, who's still learning how to catch passes and pass protect. He didn't do any of that in high school. He had a lot of success in high school, but didn't have to do those things. So I had a Caleb Hood. I say Caleb Love. When I talk about Caleb Love, I say Caleb Hood.
I know, it's easy to do.
When I talk about Caleb Hood, I say Caleb Love. But he's ahead of him because Caleb's transitioning to playing quarterback in high school. So I think right now, when they go to Blacksburg, I would expect Chandler to get a ton of snaps. I would expect DJ Jones to get a ton of snaps. and then they'll figure out as they go through things who that third guy is. I think Hood is the short yardage guy, the power down guy every once in a while, maybe the second back in the backfield, almost as like a fullback at times.
Yeah, he's a big boy.
Or maybe some schools use guys as what was once called H-back, maybe that utilizing him like that. But I think DJ Jones is going to play a lot.
Mm-hmm.
And if he stays healthy, I'm knocking on my desk right now. It is wood, made out of wood, so I'm knocking on wood. If he can stay healthy, I think he has the potential to be quite prolific.
Yeah, AJ, I agree with everything you said. I'm really interested to see what we see from DJ Jones this season because, like you mentioned, saw him a lot of limited reps last season. Didn't get to play as much. I was really disappointed when he got hurt and wasn't able to play in that Orange Bowl because like I mentioned a little bit earlier, I think that would have been a really good time to see just how talented he is and get a little sneak peek of what we may see this season. So, last thing I want to ask you before we wrap this one up, do you think? And I know we haven't seen a ton of Chandler yet and a ton of the other guys, just a few practices and in the spring game. But do you think DJ Jones maybe is Carolina's most talented back in that room overall?
Well, I think he might be. Again, I got to see more of Chandler as well. Chandler had a pretty nice career at Tennessee, but I do think that DJ Jones could be 1,000-yard guy at some point in North Carolina. Mm-hmm. This coming year will be really interesting to see how prolific both those guys could be just in straight runs because – how good the offensive line is. The reason I like DJ Jones from that group is that he might have the most potential to get to the second level. They're going to be holes. Those guys are going to block well for him. Yeah. So he showed us in the spring, one of the scrimmages, you and I were sitting next to each other and we commented, boy, he's got some good vision. He anticipated well. He made a cut before a defender got there. A lot of guys make the cuts right as the defender's getting there. DJ made the cut before the defender as he sensed him approaching. So the defender had maybe 9 strides to get to him instead of 6 or 7. And as a result, he got like 4 or 5 extra yards. I think he's that guy. I think maybe he's more that guy than some of the other players in that room. Don't know enough about Chandler yet, but maybe DJ might be more of that guy than Chandler. We'll find out by the end of September for sure. But I think he could be 1,000-yard back in college, especially in this offensive scheme and with this kind of offensive line. Now, in 22, they're going to have a rebuild offensive line to a degree, but DJ will be a lot more experienced. Maybe 22 is when he becomes 1,000-yard guy. But remember, Javonte wasn't a 1,000-yard guy in 2019. He went for 933, splitting time with Michael Carter, and Antonio Williams was a little bit in the mix there as well. So I don't think he has to get 1,000 yards or Chandler has to get 1,000 yards for us to determine whether or not they had a really good year. I think if it's his yards per average and how well he does in the red zone, because Phil Longo told us at the outset of spring, even though they made a huge improvement running the ball and scoring touchdowns on the ground in the red zone in 2020 from 2019, they want to make more progress there. They want to be better in short yardage situations. They've got to have guys that they can give the ball to at the 6-yard line who can get in the end zone, at the 3-yard line who can get into the end zone. And we'll see if DJ can be that guy. I think he hits the hole hard enough, hits the hole well enough, and I would think maybe low enough and powerfully enough that he could be that guy. Still to be determined, but I think the potential is there, like I said earlier, for him to be an every down back who can handle every load that they throw at him. Yeah,
completely agree. I love what you said there. I'm interested to see how he continues to develop. And I know I compared him to Michael Carter earlier on, but if he can be, 75, 80% of the back Michael Carter was for Carolina, especially in his last 2 seasons in Chapel Hill, I think Carolina's in safe hands at that position group. So, yeah, going to be interesting to see how he continues to make strides, especially this season when we get to see him in a little bit more action and when he's going to have a lot of opportunities to go out there and play. So we'll see how it goes. But I think it's a good place to wrap this one up. It's the 3rd ever episode of our Carolina Football ISO series. If you haven't seen the ones previously, head on over to our YouTube channel. We've got a little playlist in there that you'll find on the front where you can go watch the ones we've done before this. And we've also got a lot more coming over the next few weeks and a few months. So definitely stay tuned for that. And click the link click the description, click the link to our website. Go sign up for our premium boards and premium access to our site. Just $8.33 a month right now is a great time to sign up for that, especially ahead of the season. Because if you guys don't know, we go where the Tar Heels go. We'll be at all the games, basketball, football, and obviously cover football and basketball recruiting.
And recruiting events for football and basketball.
Yep, we'll be doing that as well. Yep.
And so much of that stuff you can only access on our boards.
Oh yeah, for sure. So it's just a great opportunity to get over there and ahead of the season. And like I said, like AJ said, with all the camps going on that we'll be at this summer as well. So go on and do that and take advantage of that opportunity. But I think it's a good place to wrap it up, BJ. I've been Jacob Turner. He's been Andrew Jones. You guys know what to do. Like, share, subscribe to our channel, and we'll see you in the next one. Thanks.